Today, a great debate is taking place that will change the future for all of us, but mostly for our children. It is a debate filled with statistics, policy statements, and budget numbers, but behind the charts, the graphs, and the position papers, it is mainly a debate on our core values as Americans. This fight will focus on our beliefs, on how we define our values, and how we see our future. Since that time began, we have thought of ourselves as an American family, one whose first priority, both in our homes and in our neighborhoods, was to our children. A family geared to helping the most vulnerable among us so that they in turn could help themselves. For decades, this has been the American way, to put people, especially children, first. And since we have adhered to that way of life, the dream has stayed alive for generation after generation, and our country has remained the best on earth. But now we seem to have lost all sense of ourselves as a family unit. We are allowing ourselves to be torn apart and put in competition with each other over the resources in our land. Most parents in America are working as hard as they can to be good parents. They may need better information so that they can understand just what needs to be accomplished, but they are getting up every day working as hard as they know how to provide for themselves and their children. I have met with working mothers and fathers over the last few months, and I know the sacrifices they are making to put food on the table, pay the mortgage or rent, pay the medical bills, and instill an ethic of work and responsibility in their kids. Of course, parents do and should bear the primary responsibility for their own children, but parents know that the care, the warmth, the love and discipline that each child needs cannot be delivered in a vacuum. We are all affected by what goes on around us. As the National Council of Teachers said in a 1994 letter sent to parents, we know that no government can love a child and that no policy can replace a family's care, but the progress that our nation has can either support or hurt families as they cope with the moral, social, and economic stress of caring for children. The reason, for instance, that our children do fairly well in terms of seeing their doctors and dentists is that we have support both through private insurance that is partly paid by our employers and through public insurance, so we know that there is a tie between what families feel they are able to do for their children and whether or not they really can do it. Let's not fool ourselves. National policies, whether they are on education, health care, work, welfare, or anything else, are mirrored every day in the lives and wisdom of our children. And all of us, through our local, state, and national governments, play a role. Sadly, today, the social safety net, known as Medicaid, is being cut at an alarming pace. It is being cut with very little discussion and no real debate. Decisions are being made in haste, not only about who pays for health care in America, but about who gets health care and who does not. We are all for balancing the budget, and we are all for giving states and cities greater flexibility to run programs, but as the President has said many times, there is a right way and a wrong way to get our economic house in order and shape. The wrong way is to cut health care plans for millions of children, disabled people, and the poorest of older Americans, all to finance a $240 billion tax cut for the richest families in our country. Medicaid is the main health coverage for a quarter of all children in America and 1/3 of all children under 3. More than half of these children live in families with working parents. These are parents who are not getting welfare checks. Medicaid is the main source of health coverage for millions of children who are disabled or who suffer from chronic illnesses. Medicaid is the main source of health coverage for 9 out of 10 children with HIV and AIDS. Children who, through no behavior or action of their own, have acquired these difficult and sad illnesses. It is the main source of insurance for over 2/3 of people in nursing homes. Today, Medicaid is a lifeline for millions of children and families in the world. Ripping out this lifeline, ripping out this safety net is not the American way. It is not the American way to deny infants the shots that they need to stay healthy. It is not the American way to deny treatment to kids who are disabled or very ill. It is not right to punish the hard-working parents whose company health plan disappears when a job changes or is lost. It is not right to force the oldest among us to relinquish their possessions and live a life of poverty just to pay for a loved one's nursing home care. Cutting billions of dollars from the Medicaid program will force many families to make desperate choices.